Season reveals. So there is a new thing that I'm gonna be doing, people, over the coming days as we just enjoy all the things that happen in the Premier League. So I'm gonna be doing something interesting, which is actually starting today, where we analyze each and every team of the Premier League from team number 1 to team number 20. Can I reach to team number 20? It's gonna be interesting. But anyway, we'll find out how we will do it. So I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think of how the season has gone on like? And do you think that each and every team that is in the Premier League deserve to be in the positions that they are at? And what can you expect from them? So, because I said it's season review, and I'm starting today with the team that lifted the Premier League, which is Manchester City. I'm going to try to give you my thoughts over the team and how the season went for them, and somehow how, against all odds, they are the Premier League champions, and what they've actually achieved and how huge that is for the Premier League as well as for Pep Guardiola as a manager. So, of course, getting into the season, the thing that was being said the most about Man City was the 115. Everyone was trying to make it all about what they've not done, with all that has led to where they were, and nobody really gave them any chance in terms of going there, because they kept on, using history as a backup to this, saying that after the treble, Manchester United, they were no longer the same team that had the same, know-how or excitement to wanna compete. And the fact that that was happening with the Manchester United, they say that that was the thing that is gonna that is gonna cause Man City to drop off over the Premier League. I was even one of those people, but somehow, in my God of God, I had a feeling that maybe we'll be surprised over what happens in the Premier League with this Manchester City squad, because even though they'd lost Ilkay Gundogan, an important character, important leader, as well as an important player to the team, even though they'd lost Mahrez, one of the best and sick wingers that we have seen in the Premier League, as well as Raheem Sterling, who was at some point, in that point they were winning the treble, was one of the most important players for them. So there were a lot of people who walked away from this Man City team, and they signed, Kovacic and some of the players like Jeremy Doku and the rest of the players that were there. So the question was, can they do the 4P? And because of how the season started, the way somehow they were so low into the Premier League, people were like, no, 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 it's a different league. Every team is fighting. Every team wants to achieve something. We saw Tottenham Hotspur starting like a house on fire. We saw Arsenal trying to open the pace. We also saw so many teams we did not see or even thought that they could go that high. Tottenham Hotspur with Ange Ball was one of the best. They went 10 games unbeaten. This City team felt like they were no longer the same. Of course, in the recent day, in those recent weeks, look, the way they were like as well. One of the most turnaround of the season, especially in the beginning, was that loss to Wolves. It was a 2-0 lose to them against Wolves. And the problem that they lost that game is because in the prior game against Nottingham Forest, Rodri had gotten a red card. So that was his first miss of the game, not being in the game. They went into Leipzig, tried to respond, and a week after, they went to lose to Arsenal. After losing to Arsenal, people were like, what is happening with the Man City? Then they got another red card against Brighton, even though they won, and they played and they beat Young Boys and Man City and Manchester United. Then somehow they drew with Chelsea 4-4 in one of the games that we would talk about as one of the craziest and chaotic games we have ever seen, as well as drawing to Liverpool the next week at Manchester City, going forward to games like a draw against Tottenham Hotspur at Manchester City ground, Aston Villa beating them. So many games which went so wrong in the first half of the Premier League for Man City that we all had our eyes and saying that this team is not really going to achieve what we expect them to do. So, but there's always that something about this Man City squad, because after this they had to go for that sabbatical, that's what I call it, because they had to go represent the team in the was it before that they actually played with the Crystal Palace, drew 2-2 in games that you would not expect City to be drawing. Of course, they beat Everton. Then after that, they went to Sheffield, they beat Sheffield, they beat Huddersfield in the other competition. played one of the best games with Tottenham, with Nottingham, with Newcastle, as well as Tottenham Hotspurs. There were so many questions over exactly where this league was leading to this Man City squad. What exactly were they going to do in the very end? It seems like they're dropping points, losing to Wolves, a surprise shocker, drawing to Chelsea, a team that was expected to do nothing. What another shocker. Drawing the Tottenham Hotspurs, as well as actually drawing with teams like Crystal Palace, if I'm not mistaken. So there were a lot of questions which were being asked over this team. Have they lost their mojo? Are they still the same? Can they really win this league? Do they have what it takes? What exactly are we expecting from this Man City team? Can they do what we all know them to do? And there was also something different about them this season than the usual. They were scoring less goals than usual. They were not winning the games like the way they were used to. And it was a scary thing that we kept on seeing in this season, asking if they still have the hunger, which of course we had the United treble team as the template to see that teams do lose the hunger after achieving so much the way Man City had done. And there were so many questions which were being asked. And somehow this team came out. And I do believe after that draw against Arsenal in a game which Arsenal went into the game, into their ground, which actually Rodri even talked about, saying that he remember playing against Arsenal when they had so many players out and this Arsenal team was actually playing for a draw. And he was able to say, okay, that is the weakness. We can work with that one. Because if they are not even willing to take a chance over the rivals, talk about, because the funny part, they were coming from a 1-1 draw to a Liverpool which really tested them, which really put them down, really had to go to another level to get that victory. And the fact that Arsenal played for a draw, according to Rodri, that's where things changed for them. And I'm telling you, before that, there was a game that they played against Newcastle, if I remember so well, which they won by 3-2. The game that Kevin De Bruyne came in as coming from an injury, because all this long from where I was been talking about, this guy has been in rehabilitation, coming into the team, and he was able to maybe find his feet, setting it up to actually try to perform, to come back into the game, and coming in. First scored a goal to make it 2-2, assisting the goal to actually win the game to 3-goal, but was scored by a youngster who was actually making his debut in the last minute of the game. For me, that's where the turnaround of fortunes actually started from Man City. They played so well, of course. That's when they beat United by 3-1. Phil Foden and Haaland were a star on that show, drawing to Liverpool, a game which was really, really intense, to be honest. If you go rewatch the game, it was amazing. Wataru ended destroyed City the way they were playing, and also beating Newcastle again 2-0, as well playing Arsenal, a team that did not really attack this team. Then they went and beat Aston Villa by 4-1. Because look, after the Arsenal game, they beat Aston Villa by 4-1. They beat Crystal Palace by 4-2. They drew with Real Madrid, which actually went again to the next one, beat Luton Town by 5-1. They drew with Madrid, which they lost in the Champions League, going out of the Champions League. They beat Chelsea by 1-0. Also beating Bournemouth, also beating Brighton by 4-0. Beating Nottingham Forest by 2-0. Beating Wolves by 5-0. Remember, this is the Wolves team that is the only team that had beaten them earlier on into the season. And also, as we continue, they also beat West Ham by 3-0. Played with, that was the last game, and I just do believe in myself that after the Newcastle game, they found themselves, started believing again. Their DNA came in, and they were hungry for success again. They wanted to prove wrong to people who were saying that it looks like it's over. They no longer have the hunger. They cannot do anything, and they wanted to prove those doubters wrong. And these teams are a couple of animals. like what Rodri was saying, it's all about the mentality to have the energy to keep doing it when you think that maybe it's gonna go down. You have it to keep believing that you can do it more and more and so forth and so on. It's amazing what this team is capable of doing. It's amazing what this team has been able to achieve in a season like the way they did, the way they can keep going without even showing any signs of weaknesses, not even thinking of slowing down, the way they keep fighting to the very end. They come out of a season with 3 losses, 7 draws, and 28 wins. And Pep Guardiola, he's the winner. Drawn managed to score enough goals like the goals that Arsenal had scored, as well as, guess what? Even conceding more than Arsenal, but they were able to keep up. The fact that this City team can sit down and smile about winning the league, it's crazy about how the mentality of the other teams around them are not really strong. And I wonder, can they even make it a 5p? Because now my question is this. One of the managers who have actually managed to be successful once in the Premier League against Pep Guardiola's City has left the league. And the other one somehow is okay to just go in and try to find out some best defensive masterclass to stop this City team from even doing anything. There are so many questions to be asked. And because of the success that City has been doing, even though at some point they had to fight and win it in narrow moments like this season with the way they did in a three horse race, as well as the 1 point gap that they had to win against Liverpool. People now start calling the Premier League the Farmers League. So the question is that, is this now Premier League the Farmers League? Has Pep Guardiola made the Premier League look so ordinary to a point that even people out there don't even respect the Premier League? So many questions that we need to have answers for, because it has been a long season for Pep Guardiola and his City squad. One of the best we will remember title race, and one of the best we can say we actually enjoyed watching. And I'm just wondering, how far can this even go on? Can they continue doing this? Only thing that people are going to be hoping on and praying on, which is even weird to say, is the 115 charges that they have to actually become fruitful the way people are expecting them to be. But if that doesn't happen, man, Pep Guardiola is going to destroy this league. Anyway, I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. Can they be a team that is able to stand up mentally to actually try to compete with Man City? Can they go even higher on another level? Can they be a team that is saying that I'm ready to come and put my all into this season, into this league, to try and fight to the very end to get something? Because as things stands right now, as we are looking at the league right now, Man City are the undisposable team that keeps on winning. They know how to keep rotating to prove that they are the giants of the Europe. They are the giants of the league. And I just don't know how far they keep doing this, because they don't look like stopping. And if they don't look like stopping, it's gonna take a long goddamn while to see a team that can actually put an end to this. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What did you think of Manchester City's season so far? What do you have to say to actually give some real analysis and actually be appreciative over what this team has managed to do, over what they've actually managed to achieve as a squad? They always know when to not give up. They always know to keep going forward. They did not even perform this well this season. They have so many draws against the top 6 teams. The big 6 I'm talking about: Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester United, as well as Tottenham Hotspurs and Chelsea. I think they drew with Chelsea. They beat United home and away. That's the only team, but the other ones they drew or they lost. So it's amazing that after all these things they managed to win. So let me know your thoughts in your comment section. If you're a Man City fan, tell me where you feel like I've maybe left out some of the things as I speak, but I feel like this is exactly the best summary to define or to even give an understanding over how the City season went on, like, and why we should put some respect on Yame Pep freaking Guardiola. I'm out. Click the like button, subscribe to the Connect. You see me on another side, and the best way you support me is to click it and subscribe to the Connect. I'm out. Peace. Subscribe.